Attention all members of this household. Attention all members of this household. You are on your own for dinner. I am not cooking tonight. Have a blessed day.
Hi, Hope and Kadero. How are you?
We're
We're doing
good. How are
great.
you?
How you doing?
I'm excited to chat with you guys today.
We're excited
as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for joining me. You make I look forward to seeing your videos on my timeline on a regular. So,
That's awesome.
and in the time that we're in, it's much needed to see, Black couples just be happy and smile, share positivity. So what got you started in making these TikTok videos in the first place? And, sharing it on Instagram and just to say, okay, let's just make everybody happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So the page itself, we started like 2 years ago, and it was just something to kind of share and promote our love, our life in general. We was like traveling, food, whatever, just selfies. And then when we got into this quarantine, it was like, we spending a lot of time together. Like I was working from home, and it's like we wake up, we see each other all day, we go to sleep, and we gonna rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So doing that, it was like, all right, we started doing different things, looking at Instagram, and then TikTok kind of became this like entertainment thing for us.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, this is funny. This is hilarious. And not all TikTok is just people taking stuff, and everybody's doing the same thing.
Or recreating
it and putting their spin on it. So we're like, let's just try it and let's throw it on our page. Our page is every day, so let's give people something every day. And because quarantine's going on, they stuck in the house, people are losing their jobs, a lot's going on. We may be able to put some smile on face just to laugh, because we know for us, it was making us laugh.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it got started. And it was crazy because I remember at the beginning of this thing, we probably had about 250 followers.
We did. And those were like friends.
And those was like the friends here. The folks who was listening, right? Oh, look at y'all, got y'all little page. Ain't that cute? Got a little joint page. And then we started doing this every day. And next thing you know, you're like 1,000, 2,000. And we're like, wait a minute. And then it was for us, it clicked, how can we continue just to show that love, let people come into our love? And so we started doing the Q&As, and then it just became this whole thing. And we always have been taught in our marriages, marriage is our first ministry. So it was going to be, hey, let's not only make people laugh, impactful, but how can we also help them? So the Q&As became this great thing where we're they're asking us deep questions, and we're showing our heart and, pouring our heart to them, hey, this is what we feel about a relationship. And so it's just taking our own experience, things we've learned coming up, things we've seen through our own parents. We just take all that and we make it something. So TikTok's kind of just been the catalyst of it all. And it
came out of boredom. I mean, seriously, we were sitting here and we were just like, all right, let's try one. And it was just like, okay, this is a form of exercise, because with the dances do, we have to do different takes. And it's like, we're sweating by the end of these videos. So I'm like, okay, we're getting a workout in. We're laughing throughout the whole process. Other people are laughing.
And it was a connection for us. It was our time for us to even connect.
Yeah.
So it all around just was a great time.
I love it. One of my main takeaways from what you just said is marriage is your first ministry. And I feel like that's just so beautiful. You guys should do a whole, event on that. Marriage is I'll be the first one to buy a ticket and support.
Maybe one day. I don't know.
Good idea.
Because you're hearing so much going on. Couples are breaking up, but instead you guys are closer. See, one of my things is I work from home. My husband works from home. My son is homeschooled. So what everybody's calling quarantine is just everyday life. For me, it's just a regular day. So seeing you guys maneuver it when so many people, can't, and people are getting angry, it's just beautiful to me. And you guys are a beautiful couple too, so
thank you.
That doesn't hurt. It does not hurt. I love it. Okay, so what makes you smile the most? What makes you extremely happy with each other and with just waking up every day knowing yo, this is my girl. I scored this.
Yeah. For me, it's just that waking up to know that this is my girl. This is the one that God gave me to fulfill my purpose. So, you know, we all are all after our purpose in life. And when you start attacking your own purpose, usually things happen where he then gives you that person that's supposed to help you fulfill that purpose in your life. For us, we were lucky enough to find it young. Like we've known each other since middle school. We had one of those like love-hate relationships in high school. Like yeah, like we dated. Like I was in 9th grade, she was in 10th grade. There was this boy that used to like her, and she couldn't stand him. And I remember he was in the bus loop, like looking at her while she's on the bus, asking her to the homecoming dance. And we met each other. We barely knew each other, but I was always just that friendly person. And I was like, oh, my man, she can't go with you. He was like, why? I was like, because she going to the homecoming dance with me. And she's just like, yeah. So it was like, all right. So that's kind of how our friendship all got started. And we just kind of rolled with the punches. Then we broke up after like a month of dating. That story will kind of go.
The truth will be over here.
It'll be like this.
The truth will not be over there. Some of the details are lost.
The details are lost.
It's cloudy.
But then what got us kind of back, we didn't speak for probably like a year. Like we saw each other, we'll say hi, but we weren't like actually talking to each other until her best friend and my best friend wanted to hook up. Yeah. And so we helped them get together. And so we started talking again. Yeah. And then so we actually officially like dated. Like I asked her to be my girlfriend my senior year of high school. And then we dated all through my time in college. Like I went to college in Pennsylvania. She actually went straight to work and was in Richmond. So we did the long distance relationship. And as you could imagine, college, crazy times, like you really learn the like it's funny.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know?
Like we went through the storm. Like I would say, you know, when people talk about cheating, sometimes they think about, you know, that physical piece, but sometimes it's just the pure disrespect of that partner. Mm-hmm. And so at that young, I'm not thinking about that, but looking back, it's like I disrespect her. If anytime she was looking on Facebook and it's me at this party dancing on some girl, I'm disrespecting her. And at one point it like clicked for me. And so I was like, man, God, this is my purpose in life. You're showing it, and I want that person to be beside me. And like I already had it, and she's been there already, and she's dealt with my knucklehead self when I'm acting a fool up in school and I'm messing and I'm talking to these girls and being the nice guy. And
that was his problem, was he was always the nice guy. Like he was always that guy that like the girls were like, oh my gosh, let me just talk to Kadero real quick. And he always had great advice. And sometimes it could be misread, you know? Yeah. So it was kind of like, I was like, Kadero, you can't always be so nice in every situation. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of, and I think for me, it's just like, and this morning I woke up with just a huge smile on my face. It was kind of weird because I was like, why am I smiling this much?
So we're in Chicago, so like it gets so bright in our place, and we use sleep masks though usually.
Yeah.
So I woke up and I kind of had it, and her sleep mask is up, and she's just staring at me, smiling. I was like, "You good?
It was creepy.
You good? You look creepy. You good? I'm good."
But I don't know. It's just like a piece that you have. Like, you know that you have your best friend. You know that this person is riding with you like every single day. And it's like, we don't have, thank God, like those tough issues. Like we've never dealt with like infidelity and things like that. So it's like just having the peace of knowing that like I'm in a good place. Like God has truly blessed me with this person. And I was just happy this morning. So it's like random moments. I just smile because I'm like, I'm good. Like I thank God just for what we have. So those put smiles on our face. Sorry, a little long, but that was the answer.
It's much needed. Listen, whatever your love story is, you tell it. I love it. Okay, so for me, I love love. Like I love the idea of love. I love the love in love. I just love love. So I enjoy hearing people's stories about it. It's because I got married at 19 and that's young, but 12 years later, I'm happy, so I'm okay.
Yes, congratulations on
like,
that.
I just graduated school, so I was 21. Awesome. Hope was 22. Like, we were young, and everybody was like,
a lot of people doubted.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
They were like, they're young. It's probably not going to work. Like, we've had people talk about us, like against us, and we're kind of like, wait a minute, like, it's interesting because people, I think, you know, you grow up and people are at different stages. So it's like whether you're 32, you can be older and still not ready for marriage, or you can be 19 like you and ready for marriage. Like, so everybody's just different. So I don't know.
At the end of the day, I had mostly male friends growing up, and I would hear the things that the guys would say about the girls, and I would say, I don't want a guy to say that about me.
Right.
And I did. So I literally told God, I remember somebody telling me that it was a crazy prayer. I was like, God, whoever I date, I want to marry. I don't want to go through dating. I don't want to go through heartbreak. I don't want none of that. So it's kind of like even when God presented my husband, I was like, that ain't him.
Yeah, right? When you know, you know.
Lord, he don't look like the one.
Right.
Now, look, now I want to ask you, did you have a list?
So that was the funny thing. So I remember when he was telling me, God was telling me, he told me through my mom, and then he said, look at your list. I was like, but so what? He said, look at your list. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was like, check. It wasn't like a crazy list. It was more of a compatibility, like ministry-wise, career-wise, have the same values in raising our kids. I only have one child right now. So, but I just wanted those basic core things. We can pray the same prayer.
Right.
Because I'm Guyanese, so a little bit of, culturally we're the same. So it was just like a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like funny thing you said, that I've known my husband since I was probably 1 or 2. And I did not like him. We weren't like anything because he's older than me. He's my sister's age.
Yeah.
And how we got together was I was trying to set him up with my friend.
There it is. There it is.
Because I thought that's what, I was like, yeah, let's get it. And then, we ended up talking. When I was in college, I would find myself up really late talking to him. And then my mother was like, you like him? I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot. It's like, no, mommy, I don't.
Yeah.
But, God is good. So
yeah.
I feel you guys right here.
That is
awesome. I'm going to ask. Kadero, I'm going to ask you first because I'm pretty sure you had to pop the question. When did you know for sure this was the one? There is nobody else. All these parties are behind me, but this is my boo.
Yeah, let's hear.
For me, it was, so my sophomore year, I studied abroad, and I actually lived on a ship. It was called Semester at Sea. You live on a ship and you circumnavigate the globe. And I remember I'm on this ship and I'm like, we have this great, going. And I'm like, every place I'm like, gosh, I wish Hope could be here with me. And like doing this thing with me. And it was like not being able to send her pictures. And we, the times we could talk because it was very hard to communicate, we would. But it was like, man, I miss that. I miss her. And she should be by my side experiencing all this. And now for me, it was like, if I know that I want to do that with that one person, it was easy. And like I actually emailed her dad and her mom on the ship, and I purchased the ring while I was on the ship. So I already had everything planned out. I had called my mom, was like, hey, there's gonna be a ring being dropped off. You're gonna have to sign for it because it's like it's a big price. But it was like I had all that, end up like emailing with her dad, letting them know, and said, we'll talk when I get back. Got a chance to talk to her mom as well. And then like I got back in May. I didn't do it until like June 1st. So we actually just passed June 1st of 2008 is when I proposed. And so it was just one of those things, like I knew I didn't want to do life. As cliche as it always sounds, like I knew I didn't want to do this life without her. Like we are best friends. We've been through this for the long haul. And it's almost like, why try to start all over? And you already know, like you start seeing the purpose that God has for that person. And I think the things I have in me, the gifts he's given me can help her, and the gifts he's given her will help me. And even if I look at my work, the work I do now and the work she does is so compatible where if we have to move, and we've moved a lot, her job has always been something where she can move. Mm-hmm. And it's something like, if you did it, nothing wrong with a career woman, that's great. But if that job, that purpose God's given me, it's hard when his wife is like, well, no, like I'm here. Like this is where my job is. It's what where the job she has is very flexible, where when we were moving, it's easier to move. And it was like, wow, God, you put a person like that with me. So I think that was the piece, was like, when I look back, it's like, yeah, you did it. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Thank you. But I think when in the process, it was just easy to say, man, I want this woman by me. So I actually proposed in the same spot I asked her to be my girlfriend. It was just in my front yard in front of the mailbox.
So what you're saying is he searched the world, but still couldn't find anybody.
Hallelujah. Hope, why did you say yes?
Honestly, I'm kidding. Honestly, like, I said yes because kind of for the same reasons. Like, he was my best friend. I could tell him any and everything. Like, he was that ear that I needed when I was going through things personally, like in my life. And it was just one of those things that I was like, I want him to be the father of my children. So it's like, when I see him as an example, as like a man, like, I want my son to be like that, or I want my daughter to realize what love is and like have somebody to look at and know, like, this is how a woman should be treated. So it's like all of those thoughts like go through your mind, like, okay, who do you want to set up your life with? Like, who works? Who does God have for you, you know, from the beginning? But it's like just looking at all those qualities and traits and realizing, like, this is the example that I want in my life. So
that's funny when she say that, because there like seemed like there was some stalker stuff going on with her, because she said she made a list one time and they had a prayer. Look, and all of a sudden, I was everywhere she was or something. I think she was following me.
I was never following him. Never following. But no, yeah, I did actually have a list though and a prayer. But I mean, he did kind of just show up. Like, I would randomly see him at the mall, or I'd randomly, you know, I got a story about some Wendy's one day, but I mean, so it's like little things like that. You kind of know, like, okay, this is a good person.
That one, the Wendy story is quite hilarious though, because like we weren't dating at this point, and I was actually, my parents were out of town, and I actually went to another female's house, and I was hanging out, and so it's now like what, 11
maybe.
And I was coming back from this girl's house, and I get a call from her and her friends, like,
well, let me set the stage. Okay, because me and my girlfriend were out, right? And we had a curfew. I mean, at this point, I think we were only like, I don't know, like 17, 16, something like that. But we had a curfew set by her grandmother, and her grandmother did not play. So we were like, we have to be in the house. So we forgot to like, well, we didn't forget. We didn't have time to stop on the way home to get food. And we were just starving at this point. And so we asked her, we were pleading with the grandma, like, can we please go get some food? She's like, nope, y'all should have factored that into the travel time and all that stuff. So we were like, okay. So we were like, who can we call? So we probably went through like 8 people, like 7, 8 people. Last resort, we called Kadero. I mean, we hadn't really talked, but I was like, let me just see what Kadero's doing.
And there I was on my way home, and I get a phone call, and I just so happened to be like coming off the highway where the Wendy's was at.
Yep.
And she was like, can you get us some Wendy's? And I was like,
so sure, I gave him my order, but here's the best part of the story. I forgot to tell him a certain item that I wanted, right? Because with my fries, I always have to have like a side of cheese with it. And I didn't tell him that I wanted cheese, but somehow he knew I wanted cheese, because when I opened the bag, there was a side cup of cheese in the bag that I didn't even ask for.
I always like the cheese sauce too at Wendy's on my fries, so I just got it. Figured like maybe she'll like it too. Just so happy my heart with cheese.
Let me ask you this, Kadero. Do you remember her order from that day?
Oh my goodness! I think it was a chicken sandwich. I think
probably, because I honestly don't remember.
Because she doesn't. At that time, she was not a big burger Wendy's burger eater at the time. So it was either the chicken nuggets or the chicken sandwich. I think it was like the chicken sandwich, plain, nothing on it, because she doesn't like the lettuce or tomato, and then the fry and the cheese sauce.
But now I'm all about Wendy's burgers. So that can't stop me from eating them.
I love this. I love that you even remember the order.
Yeah.
What is your best quality about each other? One quality that is just like, you know, you can live it out for, you know, either one of you can answer first and then one the second time.
Best quality. Okay. So what I think Kadero's best quality is that we're okay. Kadero's best quality, in my opinion, is his heart. Like his heart. And I know this sounds so fake and like cliche, but it's so genuine, and he has a heart for people. And he goes against the stereotypical male presence that like doesn't show emotions or like can't talk about certain things. Like he's the type of person that will go there with you. Like if it's an emotional conversation, he'll be the first one to shed a tear over something happening. So it's like he's not afraid to show his emotions. He's not afraid to show his love and his dedication to something. And I think that is just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So sweet. For me, it's interesting because it's in the same line of her heart. I would say her kindness, her sweet spirit. They say like that, men tend to like, there's things in their mother that they find in their spouse. And so growing up with my mom, she's always been a person, just a kind spirit, love for people, helping people. And for Hope, I was seeing that. And it was like, that gave me that warmth. That's like, ooh, that's not that I want you to be, but that's the type of person and qualities I love in a woman. That person that's just kind, sweet, knowing that that's going to be a person that's going to be very nurturing. And I just fell in love with that. And just for me, it was when she smiles, she lights up the room.
God.
Like her smile was unreal. And it's funny because my parents always said, like, even when we started like dating, she's like, oh yeah, I always remembered Hope. She always had that beautiful smile. And like, that was one thing I used to love when I saw her and she smiled. And my dad calls her Giggles because she'll just giggle for no reason sometimes. And like those little things is what I absolutely love about her. Like just the smile, her giggle, because it's almost, I always say her giggle and her smile is just that kindness coming out. It's like she just regurgitates her kindness and sweetness. So it just comes out in her big smile all the time.
So you found hope in her smile.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt about it.
Love that. Aw. Okay. What is the best dinner date you guys have ever been on? Best restaurant? It was great. Best dinner date, hands down.
Oh gosh, we eat a lot.
We love.
Oh my god,
we are some food.
Like that's our one thing is we love to try a restaurant,
which we miss right now. Like, yes. Oh my goodness.
What are you gonna say?
I don't know if it was the best. It's just a hilarious story though. So I have to tell the story. So this was probably this is our anniversary in Oklahoma. It's probably like our first anniversary. And I took her to this place in Oklahoma City called Mahogany's
Steakhouse.
It was a steakhouse. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, it's our anniversary. I want to show her a good time. Just go all out. So we're ordering the food. And I was like, baby, order what you want. It's good. Like, and I was like, all right. She got like a steak. And I was like, oh man, I really like this trio thing. And I was like, she's like, babe, how much is that? I was like, no, it's good. And so I ordered it, and she was like, he ain't gonna. She kind of looked at like Kadero's not gonna ask him how much because it just said market price for one of the things.
So I'll ask.
She's like, sorry, excuse me, market price. So how much is that? Just the lobster on that trio? Oh, $130. And she was like,
at that time in our marriage, I was like, we have no time for $130 lobster. Like,
so that was just gonna be the lobster. So that whole plate was gonna at least be like $175
just for him
for
to
just
eat.
my plate.
And I was like, look, I see what you're trying to do. I know it's our anniversary. You're trying to tell me go for whatever, but I'm not allowing you to spend $130 on this lobster. Like,
she's like, it's good. Just babe, we don't have to do all that. Let's just get it. We do the shares. And so we still probably spent a good amount, but it was like, I was like, you gotta love it. Cause I was like, she's like, I understand what you're doing, but babe, let's be for real.
Realistic,
But that place was like really really good restaurant. But that's probably not, I don't even know if that was the best.
I don't know if that was
There's
the best.
so many good. There was a crying moment when she bit into some pancakes. it was Happy Cafe, I think in Minneapolis, actually. And she bit into
literally this. I bit into the pancake. I don't know what happened or what they put in those pancakes. I'm trying to tell you because I've never cried over food before. I don't know what happened, but I bit into the pancake and a tear just started coming down my cheek. Kadero was like, Hope, are you okay? I was like, it's so good. So like, why is this pancake so good?
And the bacon's so thick.
The bacon was super thick. I loved it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so
it's hard to pick one place just because we've had so many. Like when it comes to like our anniversaries, we not big gift givers. We're like experience. Let's either go somewhere, let's do something extravagant like it. So it benefits both of us.
And it's a memory.
And it's a memory that lasts. Like the flowers is great, but the flowers are gonna die. So like how can we just put all into like something huge that commemorates our love and at the same time it's gonna be like this lasting memory.
You said, you just spoke my language when you said the flowers are good but they die. So when I was getting married, I was like, listen, don't give me flowers because you're just killing these poor flowers just to give me that is gonna die. Then I'm gonna feel like I didn't care what you gave to me. No.
The water turns brown and
I know I'm not like, I love looking at flowers, but they need to stay in the ground for me. It's not a gift that,
Yep, absolutely.
I love it. I love that you guys like creating memories and spending time together.
Yeah.
You don't hear that enough. You always hear about couples, you're buying this, Louis, Gucci, Prada, and I love that creating a memory and understanding each other is, listen. Can we be friends? Because I need some friends.
Absolutely. We already are in my head.
Because, I can't wait. Listen, my husband would love you guys. I love you. Like,
that's awesome.
I feel like I'm talking to my friends and we kind of like catching up. And it's like, oh, you got married? So let's catch up now how you got married.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are my heart. I love it. Okay. So I'm only bringing it up because I saw it on your IG page. I saw you guys did a call-in with Mike Todd. What was it like talking to him?
Oh my gosh.
Yo, shout out to the Transformation Church and Michael Todd. Like,
we love his ministry. Their ministry is absolutely amazing, and it just speaks to us, just the realness that comes with it. But it was interesting because he had like this whole week or two that he was just like calling random people. And so we were up, it was literally probably like midnight here. Yeah. And so we were up and we were just watching his IG and we were like, well, let's try to see if he'll call us. So like he gave us instructions to do it or whatever. And so we're calling the number, texting the number and whatever. And then all of a sudden Kadero gets like a private number. And he was like, do you think it's Mike Todd? And I was like, who else would it be at midnight? Like calling from a private number. So like I go to my phone and I'm like, okay, just in case this is him, I'm going to screen record this whole situation because like this is just a memorable moment. But it was just, it literally, and I don't even know if we played the whole conversation.
Yeah, that was just part of
the conversation. I think we talked to him for like 8 minutes or something like that. But it was just like unreal, like just the genuineness that comes with it and his excitement and his realness. It was mind-blowing for me. Like I think my voice was shaking when I was talking to him because I was like, this is just cool for a pastor. Like you don't see pastors doing this and like wanting to connect to people when they can't like physically be with each other. So
yeah, it was so cool. Neat. And then for us, like when we started listening to him when we were living in Wisconsin, we hadn't found like a church home. And so actually one of my football players that was at Wisconsin at the time, he put me on to Michael Todd. And I remember just starting listening like this dude is real. And Relationship Goals was like the first one I really started listening to. And so it was crazy. Like we kind of just followed him all the way through. And now we're in Chicago and he's doing all this stuff. And he calls and I'm like, oh man, this is the guy I've been watching. Like you almost like don't want to idolize, but at the same time, it's like, this is like real. This is really cool. And just be able to have that conversation with them. And it almost like you said, like you saying, like you feel like friends. It was like talking to an old friend, and he was like, "Yeah, me and Natalie got married on the June 19th." We were like, "What? We got married June 20th?" Like, it was just so cool, so surreal. And then just be able, then when he asking like, "Well, what did you learn?" And then I started speaking, and he's like, "Yo,
yo, you need to come preach this, man. You preaching it, man. You preaching it. And it's like, oh my God, a preacher telling me I'm doing something good. All right. Come on now, Holy Spirit. Speak through me then. Like you had that feeling. Like he's just gassing you up. So it was such a cool experience.
Yeah.
Your anniversary is my son's birthday, so.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
June 20th. He's really excited for his birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's planning his own Zoom party that nobody has given him permission to plan.
Oh, I'm about to clap it up, and I was like, he didn't get permission.
Come along, friends. Here's my Zoom number,
Right.
brothers. Here it is.
Yeah, so like when I'm here, so I caught him when I was doing an interview. I saw him, he was like, let me help you. But I didn't realize he was trying to help himself learn. So
Uh-oh.
I was like, what are you doing? He's like, he's giving the link to his friends. I was like, excuse you?
That's
so
cute.
funny. How
That's
old is
cute.
he gonna be turning?
This year.
Oh, that's awesome.
All-
I love
And a bag of chips.
love it.
I'm not here for it.
Oh, that's exciting.
How long have you guys been married?
So June 20th, it will be 11 years.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So last year with 10th, we actually renewed our vows in Costa Rica, on the beach of Costa Rica.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
We got our family and friends together, and it was so perfect. Like, it was just, the sunset was amazing that day. It literally was like
It was
God
unreal.
just granted us with a seamless situation. I mean, it was just, we had our own private beach. Like, it was amazing. It was mind blowing. But yeah, that trip will go down definitely within our
Yeah.
memories.
Like once again, anniversary, what do? We create an experience. So we got our family together, rented a house in Costa Rica on a hill overlooking the ocean, and then we rent out a boat and float to a private island and renew our vows. Like that's the type of things we like to do. Like it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
We are
great.
probably like that hopeless romantics that like we try to live it out. Everything you see, like TV, they'd be like, you guys are just hopeless. We
Let's
try
do
to
this.
live out those things.
But I think, and for me personally, like creating those memories with us, but also with the people that we surround ourselves with. Like, what can we do to like, you know, show somebody else the world, or like experience getting a private boat, or having a private chef cook you an in-home meal, or like things like that. It's like, you know, we don't want to just keep it here. Like, what else can we do to bring people along to like experience just, there's just so much more than, for me and my family, like there's so much more than just Virginia, or, you know, there's so much more than just one state. Like, let's see the world, let's go out, let's do stuff. Like, it's just way too much to see.
See, I feel like we're meant to be friends because it's like you're this year you're gonna be married 11 years in June 20th, and my son was born on the 20th of June 2011. So
Oh gosh, that's weird how it all just goes in together like that.
So cool.
I'm like, okay, but
Yeah.
but I love that you guys travel together and see the world. Again, you don't hear that a lot in our community.
Right.
So it's beautiful. Listen, you guys need to be a voice for our community. You know, you need to keep being that because it's much needed. I promise you that much. A lot of times we spending money on things, and I can't stress it enough. It's nice to get a gift. And I believe there's nothing like creating a memory, because at the end of the day, you lose the purchases, but the memories, regardless of what is what we have, and it's what we keep. So I am like here with you guys with everything that you're saying here all the way out here.
And I think for men, like the time to give a gift is those just I love you moments. If you're gonna give the gift, give them I love you moments. Like those are just, here's a little something. What's this for? Just I love you, baby. Like those are great times, because it just makes you like, especially if your wife's love language is a gift, she's a gift, she likes gifts, then definitely like those are the moments. Other times it's just nice, because then you feel appreciated with the gift. But I think in those big moments, those anniversaries, the birthdays, unless you want something, a gift, like it's just knowing that your spouse's needs.
And I think it works both ways too, because I know like a lot of people are like, oh, my man got me this, my man got me that. But it's like at the same time, okay, as women, like what are we sowing into our men? Like, you know, how are we feeding them? And like, I know like recently, Kadero kept talking about this book that he wanted to read. And like a week later, it showed up at our door. And he was just kind of like, oh, wow, like you listen. And I think that that's the key, is like to listen to those cues when people are saying, oh, this would be cool, or I could really take advantage of this or whatever. And it's like, okay, listen with intent to know how to help your spouse and like how to give them what they're needing and wanting and stuff. So I think it goes both ways for sure.
Absolutely.
Stop smiling. My cheek hurts from smiling. You know?
By the way, your skin is amazing. I just have to put that out there. It's amazing. I love it.
Listen, I think you guys are so timely, and this interview could not have been a more perfect occasion right now. So I am grateful. Okay.
Thank you.
I want to do, okay, before I even ask you that, what was the hardest TikTok video you guys have made so far?
Ooh. Hardest TikTok. Well, we did have a hard time making one that has never come out yet. So, and that was the Wipe Me Down challenge. We just couldn't get the wipe and
and we were doing like a remix to it.
Yeah.
So that
never came out. Maybe one day it will. But as of right now, we struggled with that one.
It's usually a dance ones that got a little choreography. So there's like two twins, the Nene twins or something on TikTok. And so they're like
professional dancers.
And so we're trying to do this. So what we will do is Hope will like take the video and then she'll put it into another like software and then she like slow it down. And then we'll repeat. She'll put it on repeat. So we're literally like
and I'm like, Kadero, and I'm like, well, what's your arm doing? And he's like, well, what's your arm doing? So the dance TikToks, when I tell you they take dedication and work, because we're not professionals, and that's definitely seen throughout our videos. Like, it's just, the dance ones get us every time.
Also make it so relatable that you aren't, and too many times we see people that are perfect, and it's like, everybody want to try that because we don't want to. But to see somebody take it and just perfect the joy in it, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
It's all about having fun with it.
Yeah.
Even if you could not have had a better name. So, her name is so appropriate. It's not even, it's crazy. Like, it's like hope in this time, hope in the videos, hope in promotion. It's like,
oh gosh,
she is perfection.
Thank you.
I love it.
I'm going to do what I call my 5-8. I ask 8 questions and you have 5 seconds to answer it.
Oh gosh, okay.
Due to the fact that it is 2 of you, I kind of would have to split it up. So 5 seconds each person.
Okay.
This is my Steve Harvey Family Feud.
Love it.
Love it.
I'm ready to hit something like.
Buzzer.
Have a buzzer. What is your pet peeve?
The toilet seat up.
Not cleaning up after yourself.
Sidebar. Have you ever fell in?
Yes. It's been a very long time, but I do remember my cheeks got really cold at one point when I fell in. So that has happened before. But it's just some things as easy as he could put it down, I can put it down myself, or
And I think I have done a lot
better over the years. Yeah. A lot better. But yeah, so that was in our early marriage.
Okay, love that. Who is the better dresser?
Hope.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
I was gonna say Kadero because I dress him.
That's true. I only look fly because of Hope.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Who goes from 0 to 10 the fastest?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to say neither of you.
No.
I think it really depends on the situation. If it's something that's like just ridiculous, it doesn't take me long just to go there.
Fair enough. I definitely understand that. Okay. What is the worst marriage advice you've ever received?
Ooh.
That's hard to do in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Worst marriage advice.
Ooh, I like this one. Marriage is give and take.
I feel like you need to go deeper on that.
I do. Okay. I go deeper.
Say that. We're gonna scrap the 5 seconds because I want to hear you expound on that for me.
Okay, so marriage, that you say it's always 50-50 give and take. I think in our premarital counseling, we were taught if we are here to serve one another and give, especially as the husband, I'm called to love my wife like Christ loved the church and gave his life. So I'm always supposed to be in a giving mode. If she's also saying I'm submitting to my husband, I am giving. So if we got two people giving, you're going to always compromise in the situation because she's trying to give what I need. I'm trying to give her what she needs. So I don't have to take from her because she's trying to give me what I need, and she doesn't have to take from me because I'm trying to give her what she needs. So if two people are trying to give, the compromise will happen. So there's no need for the give and take.
All right.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. This was our segment of how we have marriage. God bless you all. I love it.
Oh gosh. I would say probably two. This is kind of deep too, but when people always say like, don't go to bed angry, like I think I wouldn't advise you to go to bed angry, but sometimes you do need space. Like sometimes that person is not in the mental space to have a conversation with you. So if y'all need to have it in the morning, then, have it in the morning, because sometimes things don't work out when people are just heated. Sometimes y'all just need, space and stuff like that.
You done worked all day. I done worked all day. We have an argument. It is now 11, 12 o'clock. I know I'm tired and irritated.
Right.
I know there is no way we're going to resolve this issue
tonight.
right now.
Yeah.
And so we have to then say, okay, let's come together. Let's talk about this in the morning.
Yeah.
So we may still be angry.
Yeah.
I may turn and I'm like this, and she may turn and she's the opposite way.
We still kiss and say goodnight and all that stuff.
I love
but
you.
it's like we know right now we're not our
tomorrow.
best versions. Yeah. So right now nothing's gonna come out of this.
That's true.
So I would say when people say never go to bed angry, sometimes you may have to.
I hear that. I like that. You never really think about that. I feel like a lot of people say what's easy, but they don't really have to live in the moment.
Right.
Oh, I definitely.
These conversations.
The funny thing is, I've always said it, but now that I'm really thinking, there have been times I've gone to bed and my husband and I say, I want to talk to you.
You're still just a little bit angry. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to let it go, but you need to make it work first.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to let it go. That.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with that. Okay. Who takes longer in the mirror?
I mean, these curls don't come just by, waking up. Like, it's a process.
How about that?
It's a process. But, yeah, I would agree. Okay.
Favorite genre of movies?
Ooh. Mine changed. Like a lot of times I've been like a romantic comedy type of girl, but recently I've been like into like crime and drama. Like I really want to solve a case. So
yeah, and I think because we've been watching it so much together, like those psychological thrillers, like we've been all into that lately.
Yeah, so we just want to solve stuff, solve crime,
Criminal Minds and stuff.
Yeah.
Speak on Criminal Minds. Let's go.
Yeah.
I have binge watched that show.
Yeah. Yep.
I like both though. Like I love rom-coms more than serious romantic movies. Like them. Yeah. I'm not into a real serious romance, very dramatic. Like
right.
What they are, Notebook and stuff. Like, all right, that's cool. I like the funny love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the extreme is I love the detective and criminal shows too. So I can rock with you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is your favorite genre of music?
Ooh.
I'm stuck in like R&B, like 90s. Like, give me a little Trey Songz.
Yeah, that 2000
era like R&B. I love that. Like, and then a little bit of that older R&B 90s where we was really talking about love making.
And not just the body. We're talking about love.
I think Trey Songz my guy because we're from Virginia, so like I love that. but like that 90s R&B, like Shy and all them, like them brothers.
Yeah, I'm like the Luther Vandross and the Sades and like all of that type of situation. Like I just love
old school at heart.
Yeah. Like honestly, today's music, and if you like it, you like it. But for me personally, sometimes I just can't understand it. Like I don't understand what's going on and all the brats and all of that. Like I don't get what's happening. Like what is going on? So yeah, give me a So give me a Luther, Sade.
And that's what's so funny with these TikToks too. Is like some of the stuff like you're like, what are these moves?
What are these dances? What are they saying? What are we dancing to? Like, yeah.
I have a saying where it's music before the 90s were about monogamy. Music after is about polygamy.
Exactly.
I seriously look at it that way because I feel like back then it was like about this one girl, you loved her, you want to get with her. Today, I don't know what they're singing about. Like, I have my son listening to like the Temptations, like that's what we rock out to. Like I love old school Brian McKnight, Boyz II Men.
Yes.
That's music.
Yes.
We with you.
God bless the young hearts. I'm just, I can't really talking about half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had the club live, so I definitely don't know what they're talking about. Okay.
We weren't huge into the club either. I think I probably went like 2 to 3 times in my whole life, probably.
When you put your phone on silent, but your watch still rings.
Oh,
you forgot to put that on silent.
Love it.
My mother chose the best time to call. Okay, let me hang up on mommy. I hope she.
Oh, you could have answered.
Hi, mommy. I know. We would have talked to her like, "What's up, mama? What you doing?" She's just rocking with some friends right now.
Who does the best surprises?
Ooh.
That's tough. We're both pretty good at surprising each other.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's tough.
Hope wasn't sure. She was like,
No, I'm really trying to think. Like, I feel like we both put in effort to surprise each other, so it's hard. But what does surprise me though with Kadero is that he'll actually spend money on surprises, because I know he is a frugal heart. Like he will save, and so when he like surprises or we do like a spa day or something, I'm like, how much did this cost? Because like this is a nice surprise, right?
Don't worry about it.
Like this is a nice surprise. So that surprises me when I see the surprises sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I think we both do a good job surprising.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who needs the most prayers?
Me.
Yeah. What's that to say?
Absolutely me. Just
Man, why you need so much prayer?
There's I guess so many levels of why I feel like I need the most prayers. There's my job. Like I work in football for Northwestern, and like I'm dealing with 18 to 22 year olds. So like, and I work in recruiting, so I'm also dealing with the 16 and 17 year olds. So I'm dealing with these young kids. I don't like trying to talk to them to be like, talk their level is like, pray for me, like, cause I can't.
The lingo's
not always there. I'm trying to, feel you. And then I think in a more serious note, like I work on a college university. So there is girls like everywhere.
In leggings.
So it's like that prayer of, okay.
Right. Cover his eyes, Lord.
Yeah, like those things. Like those prayers. And so I think that's why, like for me, I think I need.
Father, we lay Kadero's eyes before you. Pray that you will up when they pass in the name of Jesus. He will do anything.
There it is.
I received it.
I'm gonna add him to my listen. I understand. I'm gonna add you to my prayer list.
Yeah.
Add you to the prayer list. I feel you. And these young ladies know what they're doing. You know?
They do. They do.
Okay. Who sleep hogs the sheets?
But the sad thing is, right, she'll hog them and then she'll get hot and then toss them. And I'll wake up, I don't have any cover. And then I look and she's not under the cover because now she's hot
and threw him off her. Like, so you could have just kept, let me have it.
I need to be cozy when I start out. Like, I need to have the cover right here. Like, I need to feel cozy, but then I get hot. So it's just the whole, take them off me. You know, I don't know.
I love it. I could go on and on with you guys.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's say we have nowhere to go.
Ain't going nowhere.
Seriously awesome. And I would love to do this if you guys have another time that I could do with my husband. I think it would be
Oh, that would be cool.
He's not home right now. The funny thing is before the pandemic, he was home a lot. And now during the pandemic, he's out a lot. I don't understand how this works.
Fine. He doesn't like the rules.
I don't understand, but you know, like more churches need help with streaming and stuff like that, because that's what he does. He does like, you know, websites, graphic design, audio, and things like that. So more churches kind of now, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it's been funny to me. My son and I were talking like, Mommy, isn't it funny that during the pandemic we hardly see Daddy? I'm with you because I miss him.
Yeah.
I don't know about people, but I like being around my husband and my child.
Yeah.
That's same thing. Like, I go to work every day, but like, you know, being home, you know, we on work and be like, you know, I know your wives are tired of you and you probably tired of your wife. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like,
yeah.
I enjoy it. Like, we enjoy cooking together, plating food together,
Yep.
And I'm like, that's what happened when you marry for the right reasons. You like your partner, actually.
Yes, and you're actually friends. And it's like, it just makes it easy. It makes it easy.
So before we go, okay, I want you to give I wouldn't even say give the best marriage advice because everybody is different. But what is something that really helped you guys in your marriage to be strong, be successful, and to last 11 years?
I would say our personal relationship with God has helped us. I mean, because like, if we're off with God individually, like that's shown in our marriage. Like we get more irritated, like we don't have, you know, like peace, or like, you know, we're dealing with our own self. So it's easy to get irritated with somebody else. So I think a relationship with God, like praying together, like we do pray together. Every night we come together. What else do we?
I love the part of just kind of our personal relationship with God. We just finished reading like Michael Todd's relationship goal. I just finished reading that one, and like he mentioned the triangle, and like God's at the top and we're on the sides, and there's this triangle. So we're connected at the bottom, but then we both should be trying to connect to God at the top. And like a normal triangle, when you connect, both people are coming together. So if we're both trying to deepen our relationship, we're coming together as a couple. When one person's there and the other person's not, you're not completing your triangle. So it makes so much sense when it says your first and your ultimate relationship was God, and then you're gonna be good with your partner. I would say the other one for me would be, you hear that term even like in divorce, we grew apart. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We should be growing together. So there was not communication. There was not needs being met. And so always communicate, especially as we've gone through 11 years. Her needs when we were at 2 years is not the needs she needs right now. So I have to be open to listening what her needs, what her desires, what are her goals, what does she need from me, so that we can continue to grow together, and that you don't have to grow apart because I haven't been paying attention to her.
Yeah. Definitely growing together and relearning your spouse. Yeah. And that's why I think it's always important to like continue dating each other, because it's like when you go and you're first dating a person, like you're getting to know who that person is at that moment. So I think like when we go out for dates, like we have those questions like, who are you now? Like, what do you need now? Have your goals changed? Like, how can I help you with this or whatever? So it's like always learning your spouse and being willing to adapt to the changes and being flexible in that.
Should never have to get bored with your spouse, because if you're pursuing
always
the right,
evolving.
She always evolving. So you should be chasing after somebody.
Love it.
Listen, I've enjoyed you guys so. I can't stress it enough how much I have. It is refreshing for me.
Oh, thank you.
I love your spirit. I love your joy. I love that you love the way your husband looks at you is just.
How you be looking at me?
He looks at you like, that's my baby. I like that. I must be smart. So I love.
Oh,
Love it.
I love it. Okay, so I don't even know how to say goodbye because I've enjoyed it. Thank you, but you know I have to. Sadly, this is my sad face.
Oh, but there'll be another time. There'll be another time.
There will be. So we're definitely gonna try to do this again. I'm gonna try to drag my husband in. I told him before he left about you guys, and he was sad. And usually he's not sad about my interviews. He's sad that he wasn't going to be here. It's like, Dale, you will love them. They're fun. They love the Lord. And before I go, let me ask you that quick question: how do you balance Christianity with TikTok and still being current, but still staying steadfast in the values of Christianity?
Good question. Good.
Okay. I think for I'd say me, and then I'd say for us, you have to understand that everything you do, it's got to be done out of love. And when Jesus was on this earth, he wasn't going after the Christians. Mm-hmm. He was going after the lost. And so how can we, without losing our best self, grab attention of those people? And so TikTok, like we try to be mindful of the song we dance into, but at the same time, we know that groove is one they thinking like, oh man, that's I love that song. And they're seeing the marriage. And our first kind of, when we talk about ministry is, when God created marriage, he created it as a reflection of his love for his people. So we want everybody else to see God's love through the love we're sharing. And so we use TikTok as a source of, oh wow, they're fun, they're loving, what makes them so great. And when they start asking us questions or DMing us, hello, that's just the love of God. That's God in us. Do you know him? Would you like to meet him? Like those type of things. And now we're talking about witnessing to people if they want that. And we're not going to be like all in your face, all in like, it'll be subtle. It can be just throwing little hints. Truth. It's just our truth. Yeah. But then you also going to get some people that already know him. And because like you said, you sense the spirit, and like, because of that, those people are kind of geared towards us and they gravitate towards us. So we just try to always keep a balance of making sure that we're our best selves, and not allowing anything to come be like, if we're doing something and that's not us and we're like, ooh, that's not us, then we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Anything you would like to add, Hope?
No, I think he pretty much covered it. I mean, like you said, like, we're very cautious of like what we put out there, like, and it does stink because some TikToks that we would love to do like have cursing, and that's just not who we are. So it's like, dang, this would have been funny, but we can't.
And she's done a couple where she's like, literally, you'll have to bleep out the curse.
Yeah, I'll try to bleep out the curse words because like it's just too good not to put out there. So I'll try to bleep it out. But yeah, I think it's just like Carol said, like a way just to kind of attract people, and then like when the opportunity comes, like that's when we have the opportunity to like minister or speak our experience, and people kind of can take whatever they want from that. So
that's all. End of the day, it's being authentic.
Yeah. What you see is
what you see is really what you get. Now, we do have our arguments. We do.
Yep.
Like, there was a TikTok that never got done because I was just irritable that day and was not feeling it.
Yep.
So we are normal individuals that argue, that have issues.
Yeah.
That sometimes have a hard time communicating. Like, we never want anybody to think like we're just this perfect couple. Michael Tyler always says it's not perfection but progression. And like that's what we always try to just progress, continue to progress and be better.
I love it. I am happy. My heart is full and I'm glad.
Oh, okay.
So much. I can't wait for the end of the month when you guys hit 10,000 because that's what I know is gonna happen before
I know.
Let's do it.
we're gonna pass that 10,000 mark.
I'm so excited. That'll be cool. That'll be super cool.
So I'm gonna say thank you for joining us. I've had so much fun, and please
Having
get
us.
real through.
Absolutely.
It was great chatting with
We
you.
do this couple thing. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Beat drop, I'ma give it straight to him like give it to him, 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 last slide, give it to him, give it to him, give it to him.